morning. Hey, I thought I'd do another one. Coming close to this whole election thing, and my final 2 cents on the whole matter, and but kind of not on the matter, I guess, as I drive into work at dark 30 on a Saturday. One of the things I wanted to bring up, and it all ties in, is basically a lie factor, okay? At some point, you gotta face reality. And I'll just say it. There's people out there that, they can deny that there was fraud, or they can say that there was fraud or whatever for election. It doesn't matter. You have defamation from a bunch of different levels. But I'm going to use one that is just plain and simple. And whether you agree on the ruling after, that's fine. But there's no mistaking what went down. And that is the 2 election workers just doing their job. Okay? And then someone in a position of power abusing that power to go against just a common worker. And that is it. That is the whole picture right there. That's the reason for the ruling on him. That's the reason for the, defamation conviction to begin with. Okay, so, but the bigger picture that comes out of all this, okay, when you turn around and you have somebody with that power, that wields that much platform to be able to call out on a worldwide level to somebody who is just basically a freaking common person working and just crushing them in one big blow. Imagine doing your job and then coming home and finding out that you're on the national news and that you didn't do your job right. Okay? Would you go into work tomorrow? Giuliani, by doing that, is a very simple example of what had gone down. You had him spreading a lie, saying that they were, and using a complete fabricated ideology of saying like they were passing things like they were heroin. Okay, simply by that, turned around and lit another fire. Okay, I'll go the next level up. You have a network totally sold out to do these things. Fox is no different than a tabloid network. They spread that narrative. They totally spread that narrative. And did not shy away from without doing any kind of investigating and finding out if it was real or not. Like most networks do. So you had that level right there. And then the bigger level is all this was to push a narrative for a president who would not listen to the results, who did do proper channels to find out if he can appeal or if he could have it. And at every instance, wasn't that he was shut down. He needed to show and they needed to prove. And when the proof came out, I'm sorry, the numbers still come out the same. It wasn't that Trump did wrong there. He went through the appeals process. Where it all comes down to is that he didn't like the results regardless. And like the biggest baby that we've ever had in a power play presidency thing, he turned around and said, no, I want this. So bad that he went on to do all the other stuff that he did, rather than accept the fact that he had lost. Okay? I don't care if a person, what they're believing in. I can't change their mind for them. But when it comes down to one simple example that sheds light on the whole bigger picture, it still comes down to that election worker, those two election workers, and what had happened to them. If you think that this can't happen to you in your lifetime, I mean, as far-fetched and a lottery of misfortune that it could be, you're sadly mistaken. You could walk in to work tomorrow and they say, you know what? You no longer have a job because of things that are totally beyond your control. I've had it happen to me. So I am very sensitive about these things. You can turn around and walk into in a position and have a world that surrounds that position, a world that surrounds that job, totally collapse. And there's nothing you can do about it. You know, if all of a sudden the company announced that they're going bankrupt and you happen to walk into work to a meeting and hear that, you're walking out like a deer in headlights. There's no two ways about it. Imagine walking in and doing your job and finding out that you've been filmed and someone said that you weren't doing it right. And you got the rug pulled out from underneath you. Again, this could happen to anybody. But the mere fact that you have such a group that is willing to turn around and push that power into the crevices of American society and just common workers to push their own power play, and they have the pieces set in place to turn around and beam it around the world through networks, and you can't call a press conference at the snap of a finger. There's no way you can. I mean, a common person, you can call up a news agency and you'd have to, you have to plead your case, that I have a case, will you film this? They can turn around and say, I'd like to call a press conference. Boom, they have everyone there. This is kind of what I'm saying. If you think that that was okay for Giuliani to do, for Trump to do, for that these are the people that you want running the country, there you go. Have at it. That's a scary, scary thought is all I can say. And if you think that it can't happen to you, I hope it never does. I really do. That's what I wanted to say. And I pray that we're able to work out everything through this election, no matter who gets elected. Have a good one. Good morning. And as always, I wish you nothing but love.